You looking for a way on how to use all your peppers that you grew in your garden this year? In this video, I'm going to show you a very simple recipe on how to jar your peppers in oil. Hi, this is Jeremy Stock here from Green Thumb Gardener, here to give you some tips, tutorials, and reviews for all your gardening needs. In today's video, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Usually I'm showing you how to plant your vegetables in the garden or harvest or do some other kind of seed saving. But, as you know, we are dealing with some food here. And who does not like to cook food? I certainly do. So I really wanted to just give you guys a really simple recipe that you could do with your peppers. This recipe is just really simple. I try to keep everything very simple. So, I will put some guidelines down in the notes as far as what you need to do. But you really just need to watch the video and see how simple it is. You don't really need much for it. I just put everything on the grill and and then do everything right in my kitchen. I don't get anything special. You don't need any equipment really too much for it. But I'll put everything in the notes below. But before we get started, if you could, please give us a green thumbs up. Let us know that you like this video and this recipe. I also want to see some comments down below. I want to see if any of you guys really appreciated this recipe. Also, if you could, hit that subscribe button. I think it's down there on the left. I don't even know. Sometimes I always forget where it is. But hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell so you get notified of any new videos. Also, if you could, please share this video. I don't really ask you guys to do much, but it would really be helpful if you guys could share this. Throw it on Facebook, YouTube, I don't know, wherever else you guys want to share it. That'd be great. But all right, we'll get started. And what I'm going to do is we're going to really go over to the first part of the recipe, which is actually roasting them on your grill. So I just throw them all on the grill. I mean, especially if you have a lot of them, it's really easy just to do it on your grill. But if you don't have a grill, you can do this. You can put them in the oven, maybe put it on 400, and you're looking to get a little bit of char, a little bit of coloring on just the outer skin for that. So this step, I'm really just going to show you how to do it by the grilling, and then we'll take you right into the kitchen.
So at this point, what you want to do is you want to grab all of your peppers and just throw them on the grill and spread them out as much as possible. This step really will help you to get the char on the skin of the peppers so that it's much easier to peel them off, and it does kind of concentrate some of the sugars in the peppers and does enhance the flavor a little bit. So typically what I like to do is just get them nice and charred. As you can see right here, it's been pretty much charred on, all around the skin, just to give it enough of a charring bit. And at this point, once it is, charred at this point, I'm going to stick it in just a regular shopping bag to steam it.
Okay, at this point, what you want to do is the peppers have been steamed in the bag after you put them on the grill and got them nice charred up. And these are actually going to steam right in the bag. I'm not sure if you can see them, but they've been sitting in the bag for probably a good 45 minutes or so. I didn't really rush this section of this right here. So what I do is I take out each individual pepper, and then all I'm doing is I'm basically going to prepare them. So what the charring does is that it allows the skin to come off much easier. It does give it a little flavor. It's not really necessarily cooking. And I try to do everything in batches when I have a lot of these. So some of the different peppers that you'll get, they will come right off much easier than the others. And then some of them won't. So you can see how the seeds are coming right off. And the skin, for the most part, slides off fairly easily with them. Now if you miss a little bit of the skin, it's not too bad, but I try to get as much of the skin off as possible. I'll usually go back and I'll do the seeds, and I'll actually scrape it out with a knife, and I'll show you that piece of it. I wanted to show you this part of just taking the skin off, and see how much easier it is when you actually grill them first. So I just make a nice pile. I just put all the skin off of it, just like so. So I'll show you, we'll do a whole batch of these, and then I'm going to show you the next step after that. This always reminds me of my grandfather. He loved just anything that was pickled in oil. And he always had jars of these hanging around somewhere. These are great. Roasted peppers are fantastic on, like, say, pork chops or some kind of meat. They really can bump it up a little bit. Something a little bit easy, just do a little grilled pork chops. Throw these right over it, and you're pretty much done. Probably took me about a good 10 minutes to process. I don't know, I would say roughly 20 different peppers in there. Now I don't rinse these off, and like I said, you know, if there's some seeds in it, you know, that's okay. If there's a little skin in there, you know, it's okay. I'm not really too fussy about getting it like exactly really clean. But if you really are, then spend the extra time to do that. Just make sure that you get it out. Another option is too is you can take the pepper prior to roasting it, and you can cut it, the stem off, and then scrape out as many of the seeds as you can, and then just grill that piece of it. You know, that's another option you could do that might save you a little bit of time. You know, for the next step, what you want to do is you want to get some type of vinegar. And this recipe, I am using a white wine vinegar. You could use sherry vinegar. You can use red wine vinegar. What you're doing is you're just coating the peppers in this vinegar. So you only need about, I'd say about a cup, maybe 3/4 cup, depending on how many you have. And this is really just to coat it in there to get it. So what I do is I take the same bowl that I have, and then I'm just going to pour the vinegar in here. And I'm going to ensure that I'm coating all of it, and I'm just getting it nice and dredged in the vinegar. This does a couple things. It will kind of further rinse off what you have, because you don't want to use the water. You actually want enough moisture in these peppers. You don't have to leave this for too long. I just get it in there, and I get another bowl, and I just kind of make sure each one is coated in the vinegar. And it doesn't have to be anything perfect, but as you notice, a little bit more of the bits and the seeds are kind of falling behind here when you're doing this. So this is another good step to do to sort of clean them off. And vinegar is also preserving, and it does help with a little bit with the flavoring as well. As you can see, a lot of the nasties is kind of left over here. The seeds and little bits and pieces and everything are in here. Okay, the next step is going to involve that we're going to be salting the peppers. So this is another step to preserve them. So what I do is I generally just do a nice generous amount of salt, and then I'm going to kind of mix everything up, twirl it around. Salting it will help preserve it. It also, what it does is that it draws out a lot of the liquid. So don't be afraid of adding, you know, salt to this. You want to do it in certain layers. All right. And then when I can do it, what I'll do is I'm going to actually put it back in here. I did dump out the seeds and everything, but I'm going to sprinkle this bowl in here, and I want to get it all in here because it's a little bit bigger. I like to get all the juices in here, and you're just ensuring that the peppers are nice and coated in the salt. You want to make sure you get out as much of it as possible. All right. Okay, for the next step, you're gonna need some canning jars. Now, depending on how many you have, you only may need 1 or 2, depending on how many peppers you have. So, you know, the wide mouth ones are fairly good. I think these are 8 quarts, somewhere around there, probably 4 quarts. But you just want to have enough jars to be able to put all your peppers in there. And this jar, I think, will be enough for this one batch. It's a good idea it's a good idea to make sure that your jars are very clean before you before you do anything. As it goes with any kind of food preparation, I like to run these through the dishwasher, and then what I do is you can either put it in a water bath, or a little trick is as long as you don't have any of the metal in there, you put a little bit of water on the bottom, and then you put it in the microwave, and that actually will kill all the bacteria or anything that's left in there. But usually, generally, just dishwasher will get it just clean enough. So this next step, what we're doing is we're just going to pack all of the peppers in here. What I do at this point too is I add a little bit of vinegar in here, but I'm not really filling the whole jar with vinegar. What I'm doing is I'm just pressing in the peppers, because what we want to do is we want the level of the liquid that we have to go over the peppers, and that's what helps to preserve it. So you can use your hands if you have a big enough jar, or you can use well, if you got the trusty old wooden spoon here, you can use that too. And you're just basically compressing it down. And then I take some of the juice, and I just want to cover what I just want to cover all the peppers in there with this liquid. But if say this was up to the top, you don't want this overflowing, because what we're going to do is add some more liquid in there. So we want to make sure that there's enough room for that liquid. And what's going to happen too is the salt is going to break the peppers down a little bit more. You'll notice that as you leave this, the peppers will kind of get all the liquid out. So it may actually go up a little bit higher. When you press it down, you'll notice that peppers will be a little bit more compact. So get all the pepper juice in there, and then I'm going to pour just in a little bit more of the vinegar in there. Alright, because I would like to just make sure that it's up to the top. So I kind of pack it in as much as possible, because I want to make sure that this is all covered and there's no air bubbles in there. And once I'm satisfied that the peppers are in there compressed enough and all the air bubbles are out and they're below the liquid, I always add in one more vinegar if you need to. What you want to do at this point is you want to add in the olive oil to the mix. Now you're not going to fill this whole jar up, or if you have another jar, if your jar is a little bit smaller, but you want to just cover it enough in there. So you're just basically placing it so that it is covering it. And oil is also a preserving liquid, so it will help cover this. And this actually makes fantastic dressing afterwards, by the way. For once you're done with the peppers, you can make almost like a salad dressing with this. So you're just covering enough of the jar where you can almost, it's just covering it enough. You're not filling the entire jar. But if you had enough peppers in there, or if you had a smaller container, that's why you want to allow some space where you can add the oil in there. And that's really all you do. I mean, that's really simple to do. You cover it up, and this really goes in your refrigerator. I would not store this in your cabinet. It's not shelf stable. The refrigerator, you probably, maybe I would say 2 months at the most in your refrigerator, just like this. But this doesn't really last long in our house. We throw this right on. This is probably enough for a couple of meals for what we use it for. And then also save the juice afterwards. That will make a really tasty thing. You can put that over other vegetables, or you can make a salad dressing with it. It would be fantastic for that.
This recipe has been brought to you by the Green Thumb Gardener. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. We will have more recipes for you. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more of this stuff. If you could, please also give us a green thumbs up. Let us know that you like this video. Also, hit the subscribe button down below. That way there we know that you like this video and you love this recipe. And as always, we'll see you in the next video.